brunch with my people though. The homie Dyke just cooked up a feast and we bout to eat it, bro. Fucked around and has to mix the lobster with the poutine. Daddy is rolling blue dream, them boys got down a routine. It's Naptown culture, cooking 7 courses. Had to pass the torch and now I'm grabbing second portion. So sit back, relax, grab a drink and a smoke. It's Harder Brunch on the way and get prepared for the jokes. Whoa.
Hi, and welcome to the Harder Brunch Podcast. I'm your host, Dyke Michaels. With me, as always, my co-host, Thaddaeus Mckee.
Slappy Pappy, wank, wank.
On the ones and twos, the wheels of steel, super producer to the stars, BJ Robbins.
Happy to be here, folks.
And we are live on location in beautiful Brown County, Indiana at the Story Inn with our very special guest, Aaron Harden from 812 Farms.
How we doing, guys?
Hey.
Welcome. Is that close? Is that
good enough?
Yeah, you gotta.
All right, I'll be right in there.
You gotta right up in there.
Right up in there.
You're a very interesting character because let's get right into
That's
it.
one way to put it.
But you're a hop farmer.
Former.
Former?
Yeah, it got too expensive.
Okay, but
Did you say hop or hot farmer?
you're a hot farmer.
Hey, that's what I can get.
Your body's banging.
Sexy farmers.
You're bringing sexy back.
That's right.
Well, how do you get into the farming game? Well, you've been a farmer your whole life?
No. My family has a farm. My wife's family has a farm. I'm a surveyor.
Okay.
I just like beer and wanted to sell ingredients to, breweries. Get free beer.
Nice. How long did you grow hops for?
We grew hops for 7 years over in Bartholomew County, which is about 20 miles east of here.
Nice. And then because I noticed some of the local, like a lot of like local Indiana breweries, like Fountain Square and some places that we frequent. And you would sell them now, because a lot of those breweries don't use regular hops, right? They use like the hop pellets nowadays.
They use the hop pellets, and we didn't have a hop pelletizer, but a couple farms here in Indiana have their own pellets, pellet makers. So we would just contract through them and take our hops to them to be made into pellets. That's a lot more different. Every hop brewery uses hop pellets, but only a few breweries use like fresh hops. So we tried to sell them fresh. We didn't have to contract through another farm to pelletize them.
Man, that word fresh just does the heavy lifting.
It does. You're right,
you tell me you're selling me fresh hops, not old hops. I'm buying. How much, if I wanted to get a barrel of hops, how many thousands am I talking about?
A barrel of hops. Like, shit, I don't know how much that would weigh.
How many thousands of dollars?
A pound of hops is about, anywhere from $5 to $20 a pound.
And we are very fortunate to be recording from a beautiful Story Inn. Now, how did you get to be part of? So you're a surveyor who then gets into farming hops.
Yep.
And then you also are providing entertainment for what seems to be all of Brown County, Indiana.
So I book all the music here at Story, and I book all the comedy here at Story, and then I book some comedy at the Brown County Playhouse as well, downtown Nashville. And I've been doing comedy. Well, I've been putting comedy shows on for about 6 years now.
How did you get into that?
I got tired of driving to Bloomington or Indianapolis to see comedy, and I wanted comedians to come here. So I just got lazy. So I wanted to
you just always been a big fan?
Yeah, big fan of comedy now I'm 38, so as long as I can remember.
Well, and for those of you maybe not familiar with the Story Inn, and I'm sure you know a lot more about it than I do, but it's nestled away, it is off the beaten path in Brown County.
Yeah,
it's about 15 minutes from the main highway there.
Yeah, this is what you call the sticks, right?
Yeah,
is this the sticks?
I would call it the sticks, but it is off a state road, so it's not. There's way more stick places here in Brown County for sure, but the saving grace for this place is it is off a state highway, so that's nice.
But you drive out here, the first time you come out here, at least for me, the first time I came out here.
You thought you were lost, didn't you?
Yeah, you're like, there's no way there's something out this far. Like, we were too far out. And this was like its own town, right? It was the town of Story.
Yeah, it was a town. It's unincorporated, but it was a town. They had the post office. They had all those, general store, doctor's office, all kinds of shit. That was way back in the day. After they built Lake Monroe in 1958, it shut off part of the roads down there. Mm-hmm. So this town just pretty much died.
They had a vet here too, didn't they?
Well, they do that. They do. I'm sorry.
Well, I was just thinking, like back in that day when like there's no cars, the vets are pretty much the mechanics of the town.
Oh yeah, I mean they had a blacksmith here. They had a vet. They had a doctor. They had all those houses, the cottages where you guys have stayed. Those were all just people's houses that lived in town. But now they're just bed and breakfasts now.
And then they had the bar too, right?
Not back in the
saloon.
Day. No.
Oh, no, there was a dry county.
No. There was a lot of moonshine stills down here.
Oh.
But actual bar didn't start down here until like. Actually, the bar was in this building here first. So probably like late 90s.
How old is this building we're in? What's with this? You call it the mill.
It's the old mill. So on the other side of this wall, you guys can look over there. There's a bunch of old mill equipment, like where they would bring all the grains to mill into flour and stuff. So, and it's still here. And like the scale shed is still in there. So it was a mill for flour and grains until, hell, I don't know, 50s.
And then now upstairs has been turned into a bedroom.
Upstairs is a rental. It's one of the 13 or 14 cottages they have. So upstairs is a 2-bedroom or a 1-bedroom for 2 people.
Oh, there's 14?
Yeah.
I was wondering about that when we were staying here.
Every house you see here is all a rental for
Okay.
the bed and breakfast.
All right. So, yeah, and I didn't realize, I've only been down here the one other time, and it was in the summertime, so we were outside, which is beautiful down here in the summer. It's beautiful year-round, but the summertime, everything's kind of out back there.
Right.
Did I just hit the camera off?
Yep, a little bit.
Just that.
It's okay. We celebrate mistakes here at the show.
Down just a little bit.
This is my 5th time I've been a part of this already.
Doing here 5 times?
5 times.
Right on.
So is there a jacket for that?
5-timers club?
Kind of like a Saturday Night Live?
It's a 10-timer club.
Fuck.
I know, you got a couple times to go.
I didn't realize that there was so many bed and breakfast spots, so I thought it was just the 2. I didn't even realize that there was a full restaurant. I'd only been out
been
back and down into the tavern.
Yeah. The upstairs restaurant, it's like fine dining, like, it's high class eating. And then you got the tavern with their food, but then you got 4 rooms upstairs in that part of the hotel. You got 1 room up here. You guys are in Dock House. That's like what, 3-bedroom?
Yeah.
Then the Blue House is a 3-bedroom. And then there's 7 other houses right here that are part of the rentals.
I stayed in the 2-bedroom.
It reminds me, I got to return the key.
Thanks.
Forget.
I stayed in the 2-bedroom upstairs, but some of the furniture up there, I didn't sit in.
No, because it's not made for people over like $110.
Yeah, I didn't sit on it, but it was.
It's not made for healthy boys. What are you saying?
But there's also a story behind the if you go upstairs up above the restaurant where I stayed. There's a story about the
Blue Lady room.
The Blue Lady room.
Yeah, tell that story.
So the Blue Lady, it's kind of it's weird. It's kind of a bullshit story, but at the same time, it's real. So that room hasn't been there forever. They added that room on there probably 20-some years ago.
Okay.
And they put like a little ledger in the thing. And so many people started being like, hey, we saw this blue ghost, this blue lady standing at the end of her bed. And it wasn't like people went through and like, oh, let's just make up the same story over and over. It was like a new ledger book every time. Mm-hmm. And so after about like 20 or 30 people saying the same shit, people started to like, that's where the hauntedness comes from. But also, I've seen crazy shit down here before. It is legit haunted, but it's not malevolent. It's just like ghosts that wants to fuck with you a little bit. So other than that, people come down here all the time with ghost hunting equipment, all these weird cameras, all these weird
Paranormal stuff.
Oh, yeah. Huge paranormal people come down here all the time.
Really?
After I had sex upstairs, the ghost did high-five me.
Humble brag.
Yeah.
So these are just like ornery ghosts.
Yeah.
These are ornery ghosts.
She was like, good work. Good work.
I thought the house was creaking and making a lot of sounds last night. And there was at one point I was like, this could go either way. I could like freak out about it, or I could just embrace it and have a good time. And
well, I came to the conclusion is because I've been upstairs. You go up the stairs. It's like I understand why big guys in like 1900s were so angry all the time because they had to fall through a lot of shit, right? Yeah. Because it was not made for 300-pound guys.
Everything's brittle.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I felt like a giant when I was downstairs in the tavern there. Like you had to like literally bend over.
You need to be over 5'9" and his house is duck down.
I feel like a man all of a sudden.
Bending over in a tavern is not the best thing you want to be doing.
But this is a great place. So we've all come down here separately before, and like Thad came down and had a good time, and then I came down, and I remember I just had a blast. I was on a buzz from being here. I'm like, and I think a lot of it is because of the hospitality that you put on as a booker.
Yeah.
You really take care of, especially, I mean, obviously the audience first, but you really take care of the comics or the musicians or whoever.
Yeah.
Well, if I take care of you guys and you guys have a great time, that in itself speaks volumes to anybody you guys talk to. You know, like BJ said, he's had people hit him up trying to get down here.
Constantly hitting me up.
You know, I get people adding me on Facebook that I just see that I have about 30 mutual friends that are all comedians. I'm like, okay. And then, you know, so they'll message me and they'll send me their stuff on YouTube. And so it's just that being nice to people and taking care of them, that comes back to me tenfold.
Sure.
It spreads like from the top down.
Yeah.
Well, it's really, we had such a good experience here that I have to temper my expectations when I come down here because I'm just like, oh man, like I just ran, I mean, I didn't run wild, but I had quite a few beers last time I was down here. I definitely do remember that. And then it was like the outdoor, amphitheater in the summertime, and they're doing that. So I was excited to do something a little bit different, and performing in here was very cool.
Yeah.
Last night.
This is your first time in here?
Yeah, it was my first time being in here. And what was funny is about halfway through the room, it was just completely dark, so you couldn't see the back half at all. And you were saying that you had a friend back there that couldn't see the stage at all.
Didn't realize you guys were black.
Yeah. So
the lights came on.
Which some of the stuff that Thad was saying, if he hadn't been black, that guy should have left. You know, he should have been like, check please.
He's really into that black stuff. No, and like I said, this is Harder Brunch, but like you two guys last night, like I've seen the third time performing with Thad, and each time just so much more phenomenal. Even Alicia last night was like, she saw you last time. She's like, since last time, Thad is just, woof. I'm being serious from the bottom of my heart. I know all this bullshit. She texted me, he's like, man, he fucking murdered. And it was like, just his confidence from last time to this time was phenomenal.
Oh, wow.
So I said the same thing. Dyke, I've seen him. First show I've done with Dyke, I guess me and Thad are closer friends, so I appreciate you, Thad.
You're welcome.
That's how I judge my friendships, on how many shows I've done with the person.
No. But no, like, in watching him last night, watching you two was phenomenal. Like, to be on the show with Aaron, who I love to death, great friend of mine, I love him, and then two of my other best friends, was like, it was a great Christmas present. Like, to me, I can't thank you guys enough. I know I bitch and complain about hooking stuff up, but I'll genuinely love you guys, and I appreciate you guys being a part of this. But I wasn't going to stay in the house with you guys. I want that noted.
I asked him, I was like, why aren't you staying? He's like, I'm not staying.
It would have been better.
The bridge too far sometimes.
I don't know if it would have been.
There's only so much sleep apnea you could put into one room, one cottage.
That cottage is definitely haunted. It sounds like there's solid tonsils.
We kept the demons
Aaron was
away.
like, if we would all have been three, there was like, all right, I wonder who's going to die in their sleep.
Yo, it could have been me last night. I will say this: one of the most fun times I had here. It was my second time, and I was coming down, and we just had a great time. We got to perform outside, and then me and you went down to the bar, and you let me just run the bar like it was like a DJ.
Yeah, that's right.
I just DJed the whole night, and I was like, "Y'all never heard of Kanye?" And everyone's like, "Who's this?" Everyone was like, "Who is this? Like, what is this rap stuff?" And everyone's like, "I kind of like it." And like everyone's like kind of clapping off beat, but like you could tell the white people were enjoying that. You could tell. Because they're trying to snap. It was like, okay. But,
we tied one on until about 1 or 2 that night.
Yeah, it was such a good time. I got to sing. So there's always something different going down. But you always have the best bartenders as well. I remember this bartender, someone I was like, sing a song. He's like, all right, I'll sing. And like, you push him far enough where he does sing. He does this I Did It My Way by Frank Sinatra.
Ooh. Yeah, it was mad.
Turns on the music like in the background and just does a whole performance, like walking side to side of the bar, leaning up and talking to the people at the bar, and people are like swooning and smiling at it as he's singing. I'm like, where am I? Like, this is magic.
It was a good time.
I've always wanted to recreate that moment, but like you said, you can't. Just each time you come here, just expect to have a different time.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I guess I feel like I keep getting surprised about stuff that I should be surprised about. But we were talking about earlier, Thad and I were about what a destination this is. Because like, you come down here the first time and you just kind of assume like, oh yeah, everyone's coming from the neighborhood because
not at all
entertainment. But like, there's people from Indianapolis, from Carmel, from Louisville. People are driving to make this a destination.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know? And so that is the best possible, as a comedian, that's the best possible audience to have, are people that are invested in their own good time. Like, I came here to watch a comedian, to laugh, to have a good time. I want to have a good time. Versus a show where it's like you're, ambushing somebody with comedy.
Yeah.
And then they got to hear me tell a dick joke. And it's like, this is not how I envision my weekend going at all.
Yeah, people definitely come from all over the state to this place, and not just for the comedy, but they do that as well. But like, just because it's like a diamond in the rough, just out in the middle of nowhere, and you come across this place and it's got street lights and shit, and you're like, where the hell are we? And then, you come to find out that it's a world-class dining. They got some of the best bourbon and wine in the state. It's like, so it's they'll come from all over. Like last night, I don't know, we had a couple people from Cincinnati back there. We had some people, like you said, we had people from Carmel last night. Of that crowd, maybe only a third of them were actually from the area. The rest of them were all from, a couple hours away.
How long have you been involved with Astorian, and how did that come to be?
So the first 3 shows I booked were in Nashville at the Indiana Red Barn. And then that shut down. And so our friends, they were part owners here at Story. So I said, you have an awesome venue out there for the barn. You got this little shotgun building that we're in right now. Perfect small little intimate comedy club feeling thing. And they were just like, they let me go with it. They said, the first show we actually did, it was Alex Price and Patrick Murray, Zach Garner, and Kyle Buck.
Oh, wow.
We call it the heaviest show in Indianapolis, in Indiana. We did it in the upstairs of the fine dining. We waited until everybody left. We moved all the tables. We set up chairs, had a little stage and a spotlight. And man, that night we had probably, 45 people maybe. And from then on out, just everyone, it spread like wildfire. You're like, holy shit, they're doing comedy in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
So ever since that, I used to do it every other month, and now we do it once a month.
It's awesome. It also is a bummer to me, living in Indianapolis, to know that you get so many people to come way out here for a comedy show. And sometimes when you can't get 15 people in the city to get together for a comedy show.
I understand.
So you're doing something right. Whatever you're doing.
Well, that comes back to, like you said, hospitality goes a long way.
Yeah.
And, not just for you guys, but for all the people that come here and stay the night, it's, if you just give them a little hospitality and, you treat them like you want them to come back, they'll come back, no problem, and they'll tell their friends about it, how good time they had, how funny these guys were, so.
Yeah, that must be something, because you said people were like calling to find out about the comedy show.
Yeah.
Like hours before. And so
did
it must be a
the
thing.
Major D did too. She did when we were at breakfast. She's like, yeah, people were calling and then finding out, and she knew we were the comedians, and then obviously the food this morning, but the hospitality this morning was phenomenal. But Aaron did play a prank on me last time I was here with my wife. I told you guys about it at brunch.
Did like a little wife swap?
No. He heard last night. She heard. She heard 90 seconds. She's not interested. But anyways, he gave me the invoice for everything from the night before, and I handed it to my wife. Or I can't remember. Who's the one that sits behind the counter right now up front?
That's right.
Right. And she handed the bill to my wife, and my wife turned it over. It had alcohol, the rooms, everything on it. And she's like, what are we going to do? I ain't going to say the amount, but it was a fairly large amount because there was a lot of alcohol drink that night. And I said, just put it on your credit card. It's fine. She thought we had to pay for at least 10 minutes.
That is funny.
And she was
for everyone else's bar tab, too?
Yeah, it was bar tab, hotel room, or the rooms, and then all the food.
Yep.
Who, you don't have to say names, but obviously you get a bunch of different comedians down here. Not everyone is going to be able to be successful. Who was the biggest bomb, or what was the person that had the biggest bomb? What happened?
Man, I've had 2 bombs out here, and one of them had nothing to do with how his show went, because he was funny as shit. He just happened I had a guest spot come on, and that guest spot murdered. Oh. And then he had to follow that as the headliner.
He got buried.
Just ate a dick.
Oh,
really.
no.
Great guy, funny guy, but that was on me, man. That was on me for putting that.
Was it outside?
No, it was in here.
Okay.
So I put on AJ Wilkerson. He did 10 minutes, and he destroyed.
Okay.
And then the other guy had to get up. I'll just leave him out of it.
Yeah. Shout out
Dave Chappelle.
Then we had another guy, one of the owners here. He saw him on Instagram. He's like, you got to get this guy down here. He's so funny. Thinks he's be an NBA star, if that gives you a little hint.
Oh.
And then, so then he come down here, and my buddy who wanted me to book him.
Yeah.
He wasn't even here. He was out of state that time. And I was like, you asshole. And so
the old bait and switch.
the next week he gets back and he's like, how's the show? I was like, oh yeah, the dude sucked. I never listened to you ever again. He's like, what do you mean? I didn't tell you to get that guy. And I'm like, motherfucker. Right there. You see that text? That's you telling me to get him.
So it was a bomb.
Yeah.
But it was a bomb, but then he tried to wash his hands clean of it and be like, what are you talking about?
Yep.
I had nothing to do.
No one wants to be associated with a bomb.
That's amazing.
It's called a bomb for anybody that's done a bomb. They don't want to be associated
No,
with
I told you not to book him.
Yeah. I told you not to blow up that building.
Yeah.
Are you talking to the cops right now? I had nothing to do with that bomb.
Who have been some of your favorite? I mean, obviously, you don't have to say everyone at the table. We did a phenomenal job. But who's been some of your favorites that have come through here?
Oh man, we've had a bunch of good ones out here, man. Probably one of my favorites I've had out here. Stuart Huff.
Yeah.
He's been out here. He's a funny son of a bitch. Dwight Simmons.
Yeah.
God, he's funnier than hell. And then I had this guy. He's a dry bar guy. I had him out here. Now I can't even afford him. But his name's Brad Upton. Have you heard of that guy?
No.
Man, he's from Seattle, and he just happened to be floating through the neighborhood one day, and I said, hey, can you stop in on a Saturday for a show? Mm-hmm. And he's like, absolutely. And then I was outside. We probably had 250 people show up for that dude.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
It
wow.
was insane. But it was all because of he went viral on Dry Bar with one of his 5-minute clips that just went overnight had 10 million views. So that dude was hilarious. But Stuart Huff, probably, man, he's a funny guy.
Yeah. Brent Terhune.
I forgot about Brent. Brent, yeah, he's hilarious.
He's funny.
DJ Dangler, God, he's funny.
Oh, yeah.
Todd McComas, Sean Latham. I mean, the list goes on. There's everyone I've had here. I would have
good comics here.
yeah. Only 2 that I wouldn't give back.
Did that guy ever go to the NBA?
Nope.
Okay, well.
You should start a wall.
You know what I'm talking about, don't you? Okay.
We have a wall of shame at home for people that, our wall of shame is for people that cancel last minute on the podcast. But maybe
right.
you have a wall of shame for people that bomb down here.
Just those 2. I did have one time, this sucked, but, Jeff Bogart was coming down, right? Mm-hmm.
I know this story.
All right. So I told him to get here a couple hours early, hang out, get some food, get some grub.
It's your fault.
Walk the property. It's my fault. He got T-boned on the way here. Thank God it was 4 hours early because he called me and said, hey, I'm not going to be able to make it. And I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
So I go through my phone and I'm calling, hey, can you make it? No, I'm actually booked at the Helium this week. Or can you? I'm like, no. Finally, Alex Price. He's like, he was going to bounce at Broad Ripple that night. He's like, I'll come down there instead. And so he saved my ass that day coming down and filling in for Jeff. But poor Jeff, he had to wait another 6 months before I could get him out here.
Our version of this story was we were in Atlanta doing comedy, and Thad just read the first part of that. And I remember I'm laying on a couch. We were staying at a comic's house. I'm laying on the couch, and Thad just in a very serious voice goes, Jeff Bodart's dead. And I was like, oh no. I was like, what? And then he kind of was just a long pause. And he goes, oh no, wait, he's alive. He was just in a car accident.
He's fun. He just got T-boned.
That's a hell of a way to start off.
Oh, man.
Oh, wait.
Because I think I was like, shit.
Yeah. I was like, what? Jeff Bodart's dead. And I was like, oh,
Jeff,
God.
if you're listening to this, man, I'm sorry. You're pulled through this all right.
It's not very often being in a severe car accident is the better outcome. No. He's just in a terrible car.
This is a really bad. We don't know if he's going to be okay.
His car's just totaled. He'll be fine.
Just be aware of deer if you come down here. I locked him up last night. And then, oh yeah, it was just be it. And the guy, so this morning I get up, I need to go get cigarettes. So I go to Gnawbone, one of my favorite places as a child. I grew up only 40 minutes from here, if not 30 minutes from here probably. So we spend a lot of time in this area, flea markets and everything. Stop, and this place has tenderloins down there. And I wasn't getting anything to eat. I just was going down there to get cigarettes and a couple of energy drinks. And the guy goes, hey, did you eat? And I was like, no. I was like, I'm going on my way to Story Inn right now. He's like, oh, yeah, that's a great place. Like, yeah, we performed there last night. He's like, oh, you do comedy? Yeah. And he's like, you want to hear a joke?
Oh, shit.
And I was it was an Asian joke. I was like, all right, appreciate it. And then he's like, I'm the chef here. And then he's like, you know, it only takes 7 seconds to make someone happy? I was like, that's cool. He's like, you see this rock? I thought he was going to throw it at me. He throws a rock in the water. He's like, you see these ripples? He knows they go out to all corners, but in the center it stays all calm. He's like, that's where you need to be at, my friend.
Jesus, guy like a Buddhist monk working the gas station?
I don't know, or meth or something around here. But
I feel like you're giving way too much time and energy to random strangers. I would have been like, keep it moving, buddy. I got
but
stuff
see,
to
they're not like the homeless people we're used to in Indianapolis. Like, they will make you disappear here, and it takes longer to find you down here.
Yeah.
Oh.
Am I correct,
There's
Aaron?
a lot of open wells down here.
Yeah. So I give these people plenty of time. Like, yes, sir, that sounds great, sir. I will be a good person today.
Please don't follow me and kill me.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't even think about the well situation down here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we learned that as a child. Like, don't go near the wells. There's still kids missing in the wells. That's how they scare us.
Yeah,
growing
so
up,
they scare the shit out of you.
Baby Jessica taught me that.
Yeah, but didn't he get her out?
Barely. I mean, yeah. 4 days
I wonder
later,
where she's at now.
She's a doctor.
she's
She's married to a guy like 15 years older than her. How do you know that?
Oh, my God.
There's a real baby Jessica. What's his?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Baby
she's
Jessica
in a
fell
well in
down a well.
Texas.
And was in a well for like 4 days, and they had to it was like
4 days.
Oh, they're capturing national
This is
headlines.
Yeah.
a terrible story.
Yeah, the Simpsons parodied it. Like
That's not funny. That's torture.
Like late 80s, maybe?
Yeah.
Oh, I hate that.
We're sending our love down the well.
And she was a baby at the time.
Yeah,
she's like a year old or
Baby
something.
Jessica fell down an open well.
That's a strong stomach.
She was just 18 months old when she fell into an 8-inch well in her aunt's backyard for more than 2 tense days. We held her collective breath, blah, blah, blah. Where's this bitch at now? She is 37 years old.
Yeah, she's a year old. She's
From Midland, Texas.
We still call her Baby J, though.
Oh,
8 inches is such that's just a baby-sized hole.
Yeah.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy.
All right,
I
so
hate that.
I need to ask you guys a question, right? And this may sound mean, but, like, this is what she looks like now.
She looks like a gal from Texas.
She looks like she's doing fine. Like she doesn't have any trauma from that.
Yeah, but, like, the way she looked at and looked, was it really worth all that national attention? You know?
We don't.
Well, you don't know what they're going to look like.
We don't well shame here.
At 37.
I'm just saying that, like, now that's why no one's talked about her, because she didn't turn into someone, like, beautiful or something like that. Like, 37...
What is she supposed to be, like a well influencer?
You're right. Now she just looks well done.
She's selling wellness products.
Wellness products.
We don't have the boo soundboard. I got free reign.
I'm just going to go back to. I did like my well done.
Yeah, that was very nice. I liked it too.
I like Flint. Flint's my favorite. That's top shelf.
You know, the only food she makes is beef Wellingtons.
More worried about Flint. Like, I was over there dying. I was dying. Oh my god.
Yeah, we should have, man. You probably could have got some really good crowd work clips if you recorded your set last night. Because that whole Kaisha bit was... Were you here for that?
I was in the back where you couldn't see me.
There was a white girl named Kaisha. It was just like, you couldn't ask to be served up better than that.
I was named after my mom's black friend.
Yeah, who shot herself? It was the story kept getting wilder and wilder. Your face was just like... Why do I keep getting these presents?
Like, all right.
Christmas already?
Yeah. Hey, Santa. Yeah, that was fun. And I mean, I'll just repeat that. Her name was Kaisha. And I guess she was named after a black lady. And
She was very white.
Very white. And then she's like, well, it doesn't matter. That lady killed herself. It was so much fun. And like, you never know what you're going to get at the story end. And I'm talking to you guys. Come to the story end. Even if you're not performing, come.
Her boyfriend, when I said something about big guys with beards, he's like, yeah, you weighed 165.
He just wanted to get the beard credit.
He had a nice beard.
See, it's hard when you get in these types of rooms because you start judging people as they all were born here. Like, and because there's, there are people from Carmel, like, everybody looked like they knew how to throw an axe perfectly here.
They did.
And I feel like people just come here and they dress the part.
I like that.
There was like some guy that looked like he lost his father in a coal mine. Like his father purposely went down there. Like, I don't know.
They felt very anti-roundabouts. You can tell that in the audience.
I mean, I'm anti-roundabout.
Yeah.
He's come out on the podcast and said it.
Yeah, I've said it. I've gone on record. Hey, speaking of roundabouts, let's take a roundabout break and be right back with more Aaron Harden.
Did you write that? Did you come up with that?
Welcome back to the Harder Brunch Podcast. We're here talking with guest Aaron Harden. The beautiful story in beautiful Brown County. I'm starting to sound like Trump. It's the most beautiful Brown County you've ever seen. It's a beautiful story in.
No one tells a better story.
We always had a joke for Brown County in Seymour. We'd always ask the girls our way of meeting a pro. Be like, hey, you want to take the dirt road to Brown County?
Oh, my God.
What does that mean?
You know what I'm saying.
What does that mean sexually to you?
That means the least favorite orifice that likes to be used.
All right. Well,
The least favorite? What?
At least that's what the feedback we got.
Okay.
We took a survey.
I think it was probably just the question was their least favorite. Like,
I was their least favorite.
yeah, can you leave us alone?
You're our substitute teacher.
I have a question for you, Aaron. When you were selling hops,
Yeah.
did you ever sell any to Upland?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we made a few beers with them every year.
Which ones? Do you remember?
No.
No. Okay.
Honestly, no. I
Pop
can't
quiz, hot shot. Upland is they're one of our sponsors, man. They're
they're good people, man.
wonderful beer, good people, and they're also, I mean, they started right there in
right there
in
in
Bloomington. It's pretty.
Champagne beer is pretty good.
The Champagne Velvet.
Velvet,
I
yeah.
had that with Tyson Cox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to. So Upland used to do this thing at the same camp that we did the adult summer camp
Right,
at.
all right, CYO.
And at the CYO camp. But the inspiration for that is Upland used to have this thing called the Tour to Upland, and you would go and you would camp there,
I remember
and
hearing
then you
that
go like
back in the day.
ride bikes and stuff, and they'd have these different routes, and you could either do like, I think it was like a 20 mile. Or no, it was a 20 mile was the little one.
Okay, so
It was a 20 mile, a 50 mile, or a 100 mile.
Oh, hell no.
And you did the 100, right?
And, yeah, I did 100. I'd have to start last year. No, I did the 20 mile the first year, and it was great. But yeah, you're just exhausted. The people that did the 100, they get up at like 5 a.m. They're a
different breed, man.
Yeah, they're cyclists who are also, because it's not even 100 miles of just like flat riding. You're in Brown County.
yeah,
like
it's
these
all
hills are
hills.
terrible.
That sounds hard on the legs.
So then the second year that we went, had a great time. Second year we went a look, because like also Upland had their like beer truck out there.
Okay, yeah.
And so like they're just pouring beers, all weekend. And so we went a little too hard the first night on Friday, and then it was like, it's time to get up, and it's time to, and it was just like, I gotta sleep for another 20 minutes. I gotta sleep for another 20 minutes. And eventually we just overslept the whole thing. And I was like, hey, how about this? We have our bikes. Let's just ride in to town and go to the bar.
Perfect.
And like we got 4 people to agree to that, and then we called it, because every ride was like the 20 mile ride was like, the Dragonfly, or it was like they were all named after the beers.
Right.
So we made our ride the Champagne Velvet ride. And we were like, no, we just rode 4 miles into town and went to the bar and sat down. And you know what? I had fun on both trips. So
There you go. Well, I mean, and speaking of, like, we're right next to the camp, aren't we? Like,
pretty close. It's
throw a
down
rock.
the road. Yeah.
Throw a rock and then we could hit the camp. And next year,
I mean, it's like you'd have to have a really strong arm.
About 18 minutes.
No, we didn't see your face last year for the camp, and it was talked about. Aaron.
Yeah, I know.
Because you're a guy that shows
I literally
up.
just asked him off. I was like, hey,
No, I'm an on mic type of guy. We're going to handle this on mic and deal with it now. Because I'm going to talk to the Hops King himself and say, you got to be there next year.
Oh, I'm there. I'm there all 3 days next year.
Okay.
Because we talked about it after the show. Because you're like, you going? You were like, are you going, DJ? And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and go back.
I can only imagine the complaints if BJ would have come, because it would have been after the show and like everything was done for the day except for the nasty show, which it was held at the top of a hill, and everybody was just messed up on something different. Like everyone that was at that show, it was like we'd all done like 2 tours of Nam together, and then everyone was either drunk, high, or on mushrooms, and also everyone was just exhausted, like just from the elements, from walking. And like at the very end, it's like, all right, last thing, let's walk up this huge hill and then have these comedians say their nastiest jokes.
I would just got back in my car and said the hill was involved.
It was funny because Dustin Burkert, who is
I just said it. I was Harder. Wasn't it Harder Brunch? I think I just met him for the first time.
Yeah, but he's one of our good friends, and he's a great host, but he's not exactly like the guy I would go to for a dirty show. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
For a nasty show.
Right.
And I needed someone to like kind of host it at the last minute, and I was like, I was like, Dustin, can you host a nasty show? And he was like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. And then we get up there, and I could tell. Here's the thing. No one really gives you the instructions on what a nasty show is, so everyone has a different interpretation. Right. And like he just starts off, he just takes off his shirt, and he's just like, "Well, welcome to the comedy show, motherfuckers!" Like, he was just trying to shoehorn all these cuss words into everything. Mm-hmm. He's like, "I hope you bitch buckets are ready for some bitch buckets."
That's my new favorite, bitch buckets.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Bitch buckets.
But yeah, it was a really good time, man. I always have fun in Brown County, and one of the things where I feel like we kind of missed out last night, just being the wintertime, is just like being down here outside of the light pollution and being able to see all the stars.
Oh yeah, you can see them all. Yeah, for sure.
Be out here in the summertime and stuff.
So there's no light pollution out here?
There's less than in the city.
It's light pollution.
Yeah.
There you go.
I liked when I pulled up earlier this year, and they were parking their horses right next to where we're at right now.
Yeah, that's the Brown County State Park right there.
Yep, they were getting off on their horse. There's the horseman camp, not the 4 horseman camp, but the horseman camp right down the road.
Oh, that is Brown County right there?
Like on the other side of that driveway right there, where all those like horse tie-ups are. Yeah, that's state park.
Yeah,
oh wow.
Yeah,
so they all ride their horses down from the state park, come down here and get shit-faced, and then their horses, they know the way back to camp, so it's awesome.
Yeah, how many loose horses do you get?
Honestly, maybe like 1 or 2 a year.
You ride a horse here?
No, fucking no. Do I look like the kind of person who rides a horse? Honestly, do I? No.
But maybe a person that wishes.
You look like a guy that knows a little bit about everything.
Yeah.
That is true.
Like a little bit about everything.
You can tell me how to get on a horse.
I could.
But you're not going to be able to ride on the trails with us.
No, I don't want to.
Because Aaron's favorite type of...
I was a big Superman fan back in the day, and I'm not getting Christopher Reeve, so not having it.
You seem like you could give...
R.I.P. R.I.P.
I didn't know we were going into the Chris Reeves bit. I know that was on the docket today.
Why I'm not riding horses.
That's a backbreaking joke right
Hey.
there.
I was paralyzed with laughter. That's just too on the nose. That's just too on the nose right there. That's just what happened.
That's a leg slapper to see if they move.
It's not...
But
we really need that soundboard, man. That soundboard really...
Shame.
Yeah.
Shame.
But one thing I love, Aaron, what is your favorite kind of vehicle to drive?
Man, I love my minivan.
There it is.
Yeah, I call it Van Halen.
He tried to tease you, tease me about that, or you about that to me earlier today. He's like, he loves a minivan, and I was like, I love a minivan.
I take all the seats out. I can haul all kinds of shit in that thing.
I just gave my mom's minivan back there that I bought from her she wanted $15. I paid her $2,500 by the time I was done. It was $3,000 into the van I bought and gave back away.
Man, so you talk to your mom, see what she wants for
Next
it.
time you give away a minivan, holler at your boy.
I already texted her. I said, hey, I got 2 guys I want your van. She'll need the money again. And I'm not buying it a third time.
I have a question for you, Aaron. What kind of coffee do they serve down here at the store?
Yeah, that's a good question.
It's brown county coffee. It's roasted right there in Gnawbone, actually.
Gnawbone?
Gnawbone, Indiana.
That's where he went this morning to get cigarettes and got the 7-minute life lessons with the ripples. Remember?
Yep.
It's pretty good. But we use Tinker Coffee in Indianapolis.
Oh, nice.
And I wanted to gift this to you.
All right, yeah.
I want you to try that and see how you feel about it.
Well, Brown County Coffee, it's putting money in their economics. So if we take away, now if Tinker becomes a big company and wins
I
their
was
way
just giving
over,
a gift,
it's dangerous though because it's that good. You'll get
Is this part of
you'll
that?
get
Is there a Tinker Street something or other?
So,
in
yeah.
Indianapolis?
So, Tinker Street is what they used to call 16th Street. It used to be called Tinker Street originally.
Okay.
And there was like 3 businesses that kind of around the same time all had the same idea to name their businesses after. So there's like, Tinker Restaurant, and there's Tinker Coffee. There's like Tinker Street Restaurant.
Right,
there's
yeah.
Tinker Coffee, and then there's Tinker House, which is like events.
Okay,
And they all started like right around the same.
All right, same neighborhood.
Yeah, everyone had the same. It's like how there's a million places called like Circle City
Right, yeah.
X, you know.
Yeah, and there's Tinker Tots for toys, which is not related, I don't think.
But no,
Oh, yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
yeah, absolutely.
No, it's good.
Hey there. Taking a
Picture in the
photo.
middle of the podcast. Love it. Love it. Our fans asked for more of that, actually. Do you like your coffee black or are you a sugar guy? You like to monkey with it a little bit.
I like it cold.
Cold brew.
Yeah, cold brew.
Oh, cold coffee.
Yeah.
That's not. At first, I was like, ugh. But then I was like, I've done that.
It's like leave it out the night before. I'll do that.
I'm not a real big hot liquids
Lukewarm.
fan.
You know what?
I don't drink hot tea or hot coffee or any of that.
Hot ciders.
No.
Wow.
I like cold cider.
Huh.
I get it. I mean, like, if I had to give up something, to choose something to give up, it'd be hot drinks. Like that, I could live the whole rest of my life.
I just
without
give up hot drinks for Lent every
If
year.
you had to
No
choose
problem.
anything in your life to give up,
Like
it
if
would
I
be
had
hot
to
drink.
cut something out, they're like, you have to have something where you can never be like, can it be hot drinks? I name something that you'd rather give up before hot drinks.
That's a rough one right there.
That's such a bad question. That's what I struggle with. I was like, is there a joke here? And there's not.
It's just I don't know. For me, it's like I love coffee, but I could drink probably iced coffee the rest of my life if I had to.
Right.
If I had to make a gun to my head, I had to make a sacrifice.
You're right.
You know,
People don't need hot
I
drinks.
don't need it.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
By the way, Tinker coffee is really good.
it really.
Being honest, because
It was the so here's what happened, Beach. I'll be completely honest with you. I was trying to do a Tinker spot, and I was gonna gift him the coffee, and then I remembered 20 minutes ago he said he doesn't drink coffee. But he rolled with it so well. He rolled with it completely well.
He did.
He was like,
He's like,
"I'm gonna
"Thank
take
you."
it." And then I was like, "All right." And as I'm giving it to him, I'm like, "Oh, he said he doesn't drink coffee." And I was like, "You know what? We could turn this. Maybe we get the story into something." And he's like, "Oh, they use Brown County coffee, which is like the local roastery." And then I was like, "I don't know how to save this ad. I don't know how to save this ad
I will help
except
save
to
it.
go. Tinker's also good."
Tinker, the gift that nobody wants.
So I went to Harder Brunch. I had Dyke made coffee. He made Tinker coffee, French pressed it, and I only have usually 1 cup of coffee.
All right.
That day I had 3 because it was so good, black, nothing in it. So we ordered Tinker coffee.
You did?
Yes.
Do you use
Everything.
promo code brunch?
Yeah, it's good.
Ordered a French press. Ordered all that.
Like,
You ordered a French press?
Yeah, I don't care what my wife said.
is that a Christmas present for your wife?
For myself,
For yourself? Nice. Well, whoever it's for.
I paid the bills. Right?
When Bonnie buys coffee, she buys shit. I buy the gourmet good stuff.
She drinks like Twix shit.
Oh, like
She drinks
flavored.
stuff, Yeah.
Yeah.
I like mine black.
Like you like your basketball players?
And I'm in. If you want to try to make fun of me for saying that, that's fine. Well, wife on there, all 3 of us drink. Dad, Dyke, myself, all got coffee at brunch with all black coffee. Mm-hmm. And I just felt
We
like
got the Bloody
Mary.
Mary.
Oh, You have to bill. I did. Because I feel like Bloody Mary is a good brunch drink to wake you back up.
He was like, how else am I going to make the shakes go away if I don't start with the Bloody Mary?
My doctor said that wasn't funny to joke about, and you were there. I don't know why you come to my doctor's visits with me, but he told you specifically not to joke about the shakes.
He doesn't even tell you, he just tells me, and I have a chart. Like, now don't feed him after midnight.
I like the silence last night. I was like, yeah, me and Dyke are roommates.
I don't know why I started off with that.
And the room started processing, like, oh, they're interracial couple. That's nice.
See, I left and went to the bathroom, and then I came back in the middle of you telling me falling asleep in bed in your bed story, and I was like, what is going on?
Yeah, why did I start? Yeah.
And I was like, what was the setup?
Yeah, I was like, I don't know why I started out with that. And like, there was like, when I was in the middle of it, I was like, this was a really poor choice. Like, I don't know if you've ever been doing comedy. Like, it was fine. They were like tracking because they're just getting to know me. But I was like, this, I could have done way, like, I could have chose a better opener than calling my roommate a cock block. That's what I was just.
Yeah, well, then I walked in like the creepy guy, like came in mid-story, and everyone's just looking at me like, "Oh, that guy fell asleep in your bed."
Yeah, yeah, it was an interesting story to start out with. No, but I.
Here's what they call a cock blocker. You guys know what that is? And I was just like. And it was fucking hilarious to me because I know you do so well. And,
yeah.
And then think about Dyke asleep in your bed. You gotta wake him up.
Yeah.
Have you ever done that before, Aaron? Have you ever fallen asleep
somewhere? One of my buddy's beds?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Me neither.
Well, here's the thing. If you come out of the bathroom and you go right, you end up in my bed. And that's where I usually go.
Right.
And then I took a wrong turn somewhere out of that bathroom.
You took two lefts.
But he had it, like, from his point of view, he's trying to bring somebody in there, and I look like an asshole, who's just like laying in his bed. But you got to think about it from my point of view, where like I fell asleep in my bed, and then all of a sudden I hear Thad telling me to get up, and I'm like, get out of my room, Thad! Like, what are you doing?
I think the moral of the story is you may have a problem during that time. Where you're like, you get out of the bathroom and you turn, and like, no, I don't have that problem.
You never turn the wrong way in your house.
Like,
You
she
never
kind
go
of
pee in the
looked
garage.
at me like, this usually happens, doesn't it?
It's like, it's more to the story.
Yeah, and I had to kind of explain, no, we don't usually switch beds. We're not bed swappers. We don't sleep in each other's beds.
Wait, I thought she thought it was like low key trying to like.
Well, I don't know what she thought. I think girls. I'm not going to speak for all.
Oh, whoops! Did I wind up in your bed again? Don't mind me, you two.
Yeah, because that could have been your move. This is my roommate's move. You get a pick. Are you into him or are you into me? Or are you into both?
Or she'd be like, all right, we can do this, but you start first. Get your back.
Last time we started first, they left.
15 minutes in, we were full me once.
Yeah.
Not gay in a three.
Yeah.
We know this.
Yeah, if they leave at the beginning, it's still not gay.
If she just takes her jacket off, like, all right, come on, guys, it's fine. We can get through this.
Have you had any like big like musical celebrities done here?
No, not really. I mean, like, Indiana, Indiana celebrity, that kind of stuff.
You've had like actual actresses though here, like that have like signed the wall.
Oh yeah, I mean, we've had some famous people stay the night here. I thought you played music here.
Either way.
Rich Hardesty.
Yeah, it's Indiana.
He was huge in the 90s. I mean, he's big now, but he was like big local, yeah.
Clayton Anderson, he's been here.
Has the Coug been here?
Yeah, it's been a couple of years. Yeah, they had dinner here one night a couple of years ago, him and Meg Ryan.
Yeah.
Cougar's the only guy that looks more miserable than me. Maybe it's a Seymour thing.
It's definitely a Seymour thing. Yeah, for sure.
We both look miserable all the time.
It's a Seymour thing.
I've never got any. What's weird? I've never. Anyone that's ever dealt with him has said that he's super unpleasant, but then everyone always like. Like Meg Ryan and his previous wife are like, he's married to like the sweetest women ever, and they just end up apologizing for him all the time.
Christy Brinkley and shit.
The thing about this though is, what does everybody say about Steph and they say about me? Think about it. It's the same concept. Like, married to the sweetest women. Well, he's kind of a cunt. That's what you've told me before.
I've told you that.
Yes.
Maybe on the after brunch. I don't usually use
You sent the wrong text.
Yeah,
You sent it to him.
That's more after brunch talk.
All right, 50. All right, I timed it.
Kids listen to this.
Oh man.
My child.
Oh, you don't gotta time it. They're all adults.
But my child's gonna listen to this.
Kids are just future adults, anyways. Unless they're not.
Man, that will not hold up in court.
unless they don't make it.
That is a bad defense.
You don't think that's like, hey, this is a future adult we're talking
My
about.
father tried that defense. I read the appeal.
Oh,
Jesus
Christ.
What was the Johnny Depp movie where he's selling Blow when
He's selling blood.
when he's in court and he's like, what's the big, or it's like he was getting in trouble for weed, but he was like,
He's like, it ain't me, babe.
he was like, what's the big problem? I took some plants over an imaginary line, and the judge was like, unfortunately, sir, those plants you had were legal, and that line you had was the U.S. border.
Yeah. We could just raise money for future adults of America.
Future adults of America.
Yeah,
Guys,
don't help him out of this bomb.
I'm glad. No, that's very nice of you. I don't like bombing.
Who are some of your favorite comedians that obviously you're a big comedy fan enough to bring comedy to the middle of
I mean, like today or back in the day. I mean, like
whatever pops in your head.
man, I like them all. I like Richard Pryor. I like George Carlin. I like Bert Kreischer. I like Jeff Foxworthy. I like what's his name? Ron White. I like Chappelle.
I got a humble brag here.
I like 'em all, actually.
I volunteered at a comedy festival 3 months ago, and I was basically working the green room, and Ron White was,
or something in the green room, like a fluffer.
it would give everyone a tickle before they go out. It wasn't a real green room. It was basically just like a small area where the comics were and like where I was just keeping regular folks out, basically. And Ron White was one of the people who here's what happens. The first time you see Ron White in the wild, because his hair's all long now, and he stopped drinking, so he got thinner. Mm-hmm. And like when I first saw him, he's got these beautiful blue eyes. And when he came around the corner, I was like, is that Jesus? Like that was my first thought. I was like, is that beautiful man Jesus?
Those little rosy cheeks, too.
Yeah, and then I was like, because he just looked different than everybody else that was there, and I was like, "Oh shit, that's Ron White." Because you're used to him with like the coiffed hair and the suit and the cigar and everything. He looked more like a hippie, and he came and he's wearing this it's like a leather like man purse basically, and he gets up on stage and he's like. He was like, "Hey, brother, would you mind holding this for me while I'm on stage?" And I was like, "Absolutely, Mr. White." And the second he gets on stage, I was like, "Someone take a picture of me with Ron White's man purse."
That's dope. Did you look in there?
Absolutely not.
That's good.
I held it like it was like an artifact, It was
the Ark of the Covenant.
Yeah.
White globe.
Now, you did bring up something that was important. Like, I want to go back to your country upbringing. You brought up fluffing, which is a serious job. Like, there's steer fluffers, right? Because you need to make calves, right? So, did you have a job of fluffing steers?
Nope.
Is that a thing? Is that is someone's job?
I mean,
24.
A steer means they don't have their nuts anymore, so it's like
so you don't. That would be no.
But
purpose
someone definitely jerks off a bull for sure.
That's the difference between a steer and a bull.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. The steer in, I've been going to a place with no nuts.
Neutered. It's not the bull in. It's the steer in.
I don't like that. But someone's full-time job is just getting
collecting semen straws, absolutely.
Getting cows hard.
Man. Yeah, shit. Not for me, but that's definitely some money for somebody else.
I hope it pays good money.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Like, it pays the low minimum wage. I hope
you get some cow with nice bloodline, just like a championship dog. Those semen straws will go for $1,000 a piece.
What?
Yeah. That's like $100,000 a load.
Gotta get into the game.
Yo, the oldest game.
You gotta find someone to collect that shit for you, though.
You gotta get a dealer. You gotta get a...
Wait, $1,000 a load?
Or more.
I just think I might change...
No, not a load. I mean, like, a straw. Like, a load might be $100,000 worth,
Of good, so...
Yeah.
That would be a good, like, almost Pineapple Express movie. Like, we see a deer, not deer, a cow that has, like, good semen. We got to climb over the fence and get as much as we can. And then
Sounds like a 90s high school sex comedy.
Like Harold and Kumar minus the White Castle.
Harold and Kumar steal some semen.
Yeah, that's actually a noble job. I was going to kind of crack on it at first, but like, if you're making $100,000 a night,
That's good.
yeah, they're wearing the suits. Like, people that are bull fluffers probably have the best jackets. I'm done with that.
All right.
There's no good way to segue out of that, but let's talk about what we ate for breakfast.
What did you have for breakfast?
Well, we're very excited. We have normally we have you up and cook for you, and we call it our Smoking Goose brunch breakdown. Smoking Goose is a high-end butcher shop up in Indianapolis, and one of our wonderful sponsors. But today we ate at the Store Inn, and I think we all had the same thing. Normally we'd all get like different stuff, and so we take pictures of it on the gram. But we all looked at the menu, and we all were like chicken and waffles.
Yeah,
for sure, chicken and waffles.
They're chicken waffles.
And then the server co-signed was like, "Yeah, you want to get the chicken and waffles?"
Yeah. The smoked salmon, I was like, where's the closest ocean to here? And I was like, I'm going to go with the chicken and waffles.
I mean, we do fly our seafood in daily.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, then should have got that. I was tempted to get it. I wanted that.
Yeah, they have fine dining. It's a fine dining restaurant. No, it was amazing. It was, and Dad was a huge fan of the grits.
Oh,
those grits are great.
They're my favorite here.
So good.
And then you put the bacon in there. Was that candy bacon? Mm-hmm. With the candy bacon and the grits, you're just having a time of your life.
Yeah, Chef Tally and Chef Sullivan know what's up for sure.
And then I love the fact that the outside grill was being used too, like even last night.
Yeah, they smoke all their meat out there.
Yeah.
And for the tavern, they have completely different menu. Like they have bar food down there, but so that just closed down like about a month ago. But like I said, they still use it for certain stuff, and they use the smokers. But that'll reopen probably about mid-March, when all the horsemen start coming back. Because when you get 100 horsemen and 100 bikers here wanting to eat, the kitchen upstairs can't handle it.
Sure.
Trying to cook for upstairs and for the tavern, so that's when they fire up the summer grill and like best barbecue. It's awesome barbecue.
Oh yeah, had to be. So in the summertime, there's 3 food places basically operating at the same time.
You got summer grill, you got tavern, and you got the upstairs restaurant.
Wow.
Yeah.
At capacity, how many people are typically here? Like in full boat in the summertime.
Okay, so let's say
you're not allowed to say full boat anymore.
Jesus fucking Christ!
You can't do that.
Let's say the rooms are all booked.
Yeah,
that's about 75 people. And then let's say it's a busy Saturday. You'll have 100 horsemen. You'll have 100 bikers down here, maybe more. You'll have regular bicyclists down here because this 135 South, this road here is like a mecca for car groups and bikers because they love the twisties and the curvies, right?
Yeah.
So like all the time, you'll be out here and you'll see a bunch of Porsches and Lamborghinis and Ferraris and shit drive by, and they'll pull in, come here and have a beer or two, and then bounce. But like, this is definitely a mecca for that kind of stuff. So
yeah,
full 1,000 people.
1,000 people.
Yeah, when it's completely packed.
Wow.
Because I mean, you'll have the restaurant packed. You'll have the people. You can grab your drinks and walk the entire 17 acres. Like you don't have to keep your beer like in the tavern. You know, what I mean? You can take your liquor and whatever. You can go walk the whole property. There's trails. There's gardens. There's a sanctuary back there. So there's people everywhere. And then you throw a wedding in the mix back there at the wedding bar, and you'll have another 500 people.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about this as being like a spot
it's a huge wedding place. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This would be the place to get married.
My wife says she'll marry her next husband down here.
Yeah, because you can rent out. Yeah, you could rent out all the cabins for the
for your wedding party.
Everyone stay down here.
Yeah, so like, there's about a tier. There's just to rent the barn, it costs this much, and then there's so many more add-ons. I mean, And like one time, hell, we had a comedy show. We had wedding was like Saturday afternoon. Comedy show was like Saturday night, right? And hell, the whole entire wedding party ended up coming. Had 50 people just from the wedding party alone all come back to the comedy show. So being able to have the weddings and have comedy and have music out here, it keeps people here. Like you come here, you want to stay here for a couple hours. You're not just going to stop in here for a beer in the bar and roll out. Mm-hmm. You grab a 6-pack and walk the property. I mean, it's if you're going to take the time to travel down here, like you said, it's a destination. Then why just come down here for 10 minutes and a beer and a shot? Mm-hmm. So people come down here. Like I said, there's no clocks and there's no TVs in any of the rooms. So like, people just come down here and just kind of like turn their shit off because we don't have. There's Wi-Fi in the tavern. Yeah. There's Wi-Fi in here, and there's Wi-Fi at the wedding barn.
I had a quarter of a bar, I think, in my room last night.
You probably didn't get shit.
If I rolled over and start like all of a sudden everything would go through for a second, but then stuff wouldn't go through. It was nice. It was a fun little game of like, can I? And then I was like,
prop it up in the windowsill.
Yeah, I was trying to like, what do I have? Did I download anything that I can watch in here? But it is nice to be. I mean, so far in the country that it's like it was real. It was kind of rainy, so it was actually kind of like there was a nice ambiance.
Yeah.
But like there's none of that city noise, like.
No, I mean, you might have the occasional like redneck driving down the road and, with open headers or something like that. That's about it, dude. That's about it. All right, it's quiet. Sometimes the quiet, all you can hear is the crickets and the shit. And you're like, God damn, it's so loud. You gotta stop it.
We were talking last night and you were saying you have, no part of you that wants to like perform stand-up comedy. You said you even like kind of hosting the shows. I
don't even I don't like. I can talk to anybody, everybody in the bar. I've never met a stranger. Mm-hmm. It put me up on a stage and a spotlight and a microphone, and like I just start stammering. I'm not cut out for it.
Well, and I like the fact that like you realize that like, hey, I love comedy. This part isn't for me, but the way that you get to interface with comedy is bringing all these awesome comedians down.
And I love that.
And putting on the show, which is huge because this is like you said, you've built that up here. You've made that a thing. You've made part of a comedy destination here. And again, it is off the beaten path. So
their motto here is one inconvenient location. Since 1851. So that's true to story, true to heart right there.
That's awesome.
I feel like that like slogan gives people like the oomph to keep going when they're lost. Like I said, like, hey, everybody's had trouble. Everybody's got lost trying to come down here. So when you read that one inconvenient place, people keep trying to find it, and people do.
I mean, yes.
Like you said, people are here.
It's a beacon in the dark sometimes.
Yeah, I'm always surprised, like where everybody just comes out of the woodworks to see a show. It never ceases to amaze me every time.
Well, last night at 7:00, show curtain was at 7:30. At 7:00, I was like, "Where the fuck is everybody?"
Yeah.
And then at 7:35, I'm like, "Oh well, they're all inside." I mean, granted, we had I think we had 38 people last night.
Nice. Like when I was here in the summertime, I showed up around the same time, and there was 70 people here. So when I got here yesterday, there was no. I was like, man, this may be a different experience. But like you said, everyone kind of filed in here.
They come out of the woodwork. You're right.
It is always great, and it doesn't matter where you're at. But nobody ever wants to sit in the front row at a comedy show.
God, I had to force people on here, and was it still empty up here last night?
It slowly filled in a little bit. Like
Kaisha came up.
Yeah, there was no one sat in the very, very front row over here, but
people still feel like it's like an 80s comedy show. You sit in the front row,
you roasted for your sweater or something like that.
Yeah, right. Which never happens unless you're an asshole first.
I went to I've probably told this a million times, but I went to a comedy show when I was 21, 22. It was in Broderpool, and I just remember the comedian came out, and her first joke, she goes, "Growing up ugly's hard, sir. You know what I'm talking about." and I just remember being like, "Oh man, I'm so glad I didn't sit in the front row." And I was like, I'm never sitting in the front row at a comedy show because you're just gonna get roasted like that.
And people still think that's every show. Yeah. So it is. A lot of times I'm like, I'll give you free tickets, but you're sitting in the front row,
Which is funny to me now, like, as a comedian, like, that's the lightest roast you could possibly get.
Saying that you're ugly.
Well,
Gallagher ruined it for everybody.
Yeah. The first 3 rows will get watermelon. I forget sometimes, even with, I feel like comedians, we talk so much shit to each other that, like, some of it a lot of it just becomes background noise.
Right.
And, like, the most baseline, like, I would say, like, the lowest level roast one comic can give to another comic is to call him a hack. You know, be like, that guy's a hack. And I did that to, like, an open micer, like, the other day. And, like, on a Facebook post.
All right.
Like, in my head, just very much it was part of a joke. And he sends me a private message. He's like, "Hey man, are we okay? I thought everything was cool." And I was like, "Oh no, I just called you. It was a joke, man. I was lovingly calling you a hack. I wouldn't, if I thought you were a hack, I wouldn't really put that on blast on Facebook. Like that would be an insane thing to do."
Hey, how come you never called me a hack?
Yeah. Not to your face. Oh my gosh, where are we at on? I didn't set the timer.
BJ, are you okay? You look distraught.
Oh yeah, I am. I'll tell you after the show. We should be a little over an hour.
Okay. Aaron, thank you so much for having us. Honestly, this was a real good time. The hospitality is always amazing. Also, just like being able to do a comedy show with 2 of my best friends, super fun. Where can people follow you and find you on social media? Everything that you want to promote.
You can find me on Facebook under Aaron Harden or 812 Farms. Twitter 812 Farms, Instagram 812 Farms.
If I want to come to story,
that's spelled out 812, not like the letter, not the numbers.
Okay, spelled out 812 Farms. If I want to come to a comedy show, that's where
that, or you can check storyin.com. You can check Storyin social medias. I run them as well for this place. So I like to keep. I start the events, and put them out on blast on mine and their socials here. So
you're the guy.
Either one place.
You're the guy keeping Brown County hip.
I'm trying to, man. It's a hard job, man.
Awesome. Well, hey, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate it.
Always a fun time, and thank you for taking extra time to podcast with us.
Hey, no problem. For sure. Anytime.
Thaddaeus J.
Oh, you guys can find me. I'm just gonna move here. I live here now, so just. Come to 812 Farms, and I'll be in the hop barrels, getting hoppy.
BJ Robbins.
BJ_Robbins on Instagram. Fresh and Clean podcast comes out every Monday. And Fresh and Clean, and then BJ Robbins on Facebook.
Yeah, thanks for doing this, BJ, for real.
No, I appreciate it. Aaron, I plan on getting to 10 times, and so I'm going to make you make some kind of jacket.
I'll make you a fucking jacket, bro. I absolutely will. I sure shit will.
I'll be back in what? You said March?
Yeah. Yep.
I'll be back in March.
This jacket's full of bowl semen. One of the most expensive jackets you can get.
If it's free, I'll take it.
He's like the farmer from your joke. Reach in the back pocket. There's something in there for you. Is this bull's semen?
Keeps you warm.
Well, it ain't steer semen, right?
Yeah, it's not. It can be. No such thing.
You can find me at Dyke Michaels across all social media. Also, we have a Patreon where we get, believe it or not, even dirtier. Patreon.com/Harder Brunch. It's our after brunch show. It's only $3 a month. You get access to our entire library, which is at this point, I think, over 100 hours of episodes. Hundreds of hours of episodes. Check that out. Also, guys, it's not too late to get some, either some Tinker Coffee, Smoking Goose, or Upland Beer for your loved ones for Christmas.
Ooh, good call.
Get some, wonderful Christmas stocking stuffers. And, we love you. We'll see you next time. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.